Here are some emotions that are not born of love. Worry, concern, care, jealousy, possessiveness, any form of guilt, any form of shame. All of these things that we have conflated with love, and in fact are not. You could call them the opposite, which even in being the opposite still includes love as the seed, still points to love. That's what they're here to do. They are the negative image. They're the shadow of love. They don't exist without love. They are in fact a form of it, the negative form, which points us back, encourages us to see through to the true version. It is beneficial to us, therefore, to recognize whenever one of these emotions, these sensations, arises within us, that isn't love. In that moment, whatever it is that has spurred it, gotta mix this first. Whoever it is that our focus seems to have been directed towards, whatever this external thing we perceive as having created the reaction of jealousy or concern or care, what have you. It's not that thing. In fact, that thing only happened so that we could have this moment of realizing I feel a sensation that, number one, doesn't feel good because none of those things feel good. Number two is born out of fear because all of them are. And number three is not authentic to my being. It's not indicative of who I really am. And this is my opportunity to practice who I really am by the knowing of not love. I have a chance to engage in love. So what does that look like? How does that start? Well, it starts with, again, completely removing this external person, situation, condition from the equation. They're not there. They don't exist. That whole thing was constructed by yourself to bring you to this place where you now have the opportunity within yourself to practice love. That means loving yourself, acknowledging, first of all, that you feel this sensation, witnessing it, recognizing, I feel the pangs of jealousy, rather than trying not to feel them, rather than trying not to worry, not to care, you acknowledge, I feel this. Ego feels this, and it's not wrong. It's just what's being felt. Let me look at this and let it be. Let me understand. Let me take the perspective of my own soul, of my highest self, and witness and realize ego is just doing what ego is programmed to do. That's it. Nothing wrong. It's only ego that thinks anything can be wrong. It is only ego that perceives itself as wrong. It is only ego that believes it must be killed in order to achieve enlightenment or happiness or peace or lasting stability. Those are only the beliefs of ego, because it's never known another way. It hasn't ever had a chance to understand a different path. You must be your own way shower. You are your own guru. You are the student and the teacher. That's where it starts. That's where all of the work takes place, is within you. Those learning moments, those teachable moments for yourself, when you witness, when you have an experience, when your ego is triggered and responds to something out of fear, the way that it was programmed to, the way it's always done, because it's never known another choice. Now is your chance to show to yourself you have another choice about how to feel. That choice is allowance. Allowance is the opposite of control, the opposite of resistance. That's what this is all about. By demonstrating to your own self, your own ego, that you can allow it to feel what it feels without judging it, without moving, without being moved to action by it, but honoring it, witnessing it, engaging it in presence, sharing the presence that you are with yourself in complete neutrality, in simple, honest awareness of this is what was felt, and I get it. I get why ego would feel this way. It's okay, ego. You've had no other choice but to respond like this. I see that. I see you. Let me shower you with love for being the lost, frightened child that you are, who's been wandering around in the dark trying to figure it out by yourself, thinking this whole time you were alone, that you had to fight, that you had to struggle, that you had no other options but to feel afraid. Let me just honor that. This isn't about any other situation. This isn't about anything that happened to trigger this. This is about you feeling what you feel in this moment. Let me honor what you're feeling by just being here for it, by just being present with it, not pushing it away, not saying that it's wrong, not telling it to change, not even asking why. It doesn't matter. None of those things matter. What matters is you being you in this moment, expressing openly and honestly. Express to me, speak to me, ego. Share yourself, be yourself fully, unafraid. There is no judgment here. You are welcome. In so doing, you show the way, you open a new path for ego. It comes to the realization that it's not wrong, that it's allowed to be, and that in fact by being itself, it has a new opportunity. It has been shown a new path. It sees how it's been working against itself because of your showing of allowance. Now it understands what allowance is. Now the next time that same sensation is triggered, there's a new pathway in your brain, in your energetic system. There's a new option. There's a new route for ego to choose. And it remembers, last time this bothered me greatly. Last time this was a trigger. Last time I felt the jealousy. I felt the fear, and it gripped me. This time I feel it too. But I remember what happened last time. That I had another choice. That choice was to just be, was to let go. I was shown how to surrender. I can apply that feeling, that skill of surrendering, to this moment now. Now that I've learned it, now that I've been shown how to do it. And it's not a perfect practice. I'm not gonna immediately get it right. But then again, I'm remembering there's no wrong. That was shown to me too, that I wasn't wrong in being the way that I was. There's no wrongness. I could be right. I'm starting to get it a little bit. I don't know quite how it works, and that's a little scary. But I know I can't get it wrong. And I know I'm allowed to be. And I know that that feels good. And I think I want to feel good. I want to feel good more than I want to feel other than good. But I don't have to fight off the other than good to get back to feeling good. In fact, it's my pathway to it. I'm seeing that too. This is how you demonstrate to yourself that ego doesn't need to die. It doesn't want to die. It wants eternal life. It knows that it's as deserving of that as the rest of self, the soul, which is eternal, which is aware of the eternal aspect of its nature, of its being. It just forgot. It just is the part of you that forgot and has been so far disconnected, so long forgotten, that it's afraid to come back. You show it how to reintegrate with yourself by holding the space for it, for yourself, holding the frequency of love in the witnessing of your own being, seeing that there is no wrong within you, that all of these pieces of you, these egoic reactions and constructs, couldn't have been any other way. They are what they are for a reason. Now they are here to serve you and themselves by moving up to the next step, the next level of evolution, by the witness of themselves as having completed the previous step. You couldn't be love, you couldn't know love without knowing not love. Well, we've known not love. We've known not love for ourselves for a long time. So we could have the experience of knowing love for ourselves. That's a thing to be grateful for. That's a thing to appreciate. You show ego the way. You don't have to kill it. It doesn't need to die. Show it that. Show it that it's invited in this process. It's invited to arise as a part of you, as the rest of you with the rest of you. It's not being cut out. It's not being left behind. It wants to dissolve its own resistance. You show it how? By being that non-resistance. You are the teacher. This is your path. It never has involved anything outside of yourself. There is nothing outside of yourself. There is nothing that exists that is not contained within myself, the self. Every change that you seek, that you desire, every change that occurs happens in here, happens as a conversation with you and you, a witnessing of you and you. You are always two. You have always been two energies in one. Singularity from the duality. It's always been that way. Talk to yourself, witness yourself, embrace yourself exactly as you are. Show yourself what love looks like. When you experience not love, when you witness ego engaging in that, show it a new way by loving it. By loving it for being not love in that moment. By engaging in that behavior. This is how it's done. That's the message. I'm gonna eat some breakfast. Have a great day.